It's another flying poem. It's called The Little Aircraft, which after I'd written it, I realized must owe something to the little engine that could. As it, in its last line, it owes something to the 23rd Psalm. There's a little story behind this one. I used to fly during the war and hadn't done it for many years, and I was taking a little aircraft from Binghamton to Albany in New York. And it was snowing like mad, the ceiling of 50 feet, and the guy comes out, the driver doesn't even have scrambled eggs on his cap or stripes on his sleeve. In fact, he doesn't have a cap. And then I had my favorite disaster fantasy. I said to myself, you know, Smiling Jack here is going to have his coronary and topple over the control column. And the passengers will say, well, little Howie, you used to be an intrepid birdman. Would you get us safely down? Little Howie will do what he can, you know. And, of course, my way of doing it would be to dive straight out of cloud and run up against a mountain so I could see what I was doing. But the guy didn't have his coronary, I'm delighted to say. And after a while, I began to understand all that squawking noise coming from 6 inches over my head. The loudspeaker was situated there. That's, you see, in order to get around in the airplane world, you have to know what they're saying or you won't know what they said. You have to be expecting it. And that turned into a good motto for teaching and learning generally, which I'll hand you for free. You have to know what they're going to say or you won't know that they said it. In fact, you won't hear that they said it because it's going to come out going, well, and anyhow, we got down. And I was impressed, as you always, by the utter miracle, the way in which these things are arranged. And the reminiscence of the 23rd Psalm, you know, in the valley of the shadow of death, was reinforced for me because I did most of my flying at night during the war. And when you come home, you round the corner to the runway because they had the lights shielded so that they couldn't be seen by anybody from any direction except the one you were landing from. The blackness between those tiny lights where the runway was is so convincing that you thought probably there's nothing there and you're just going to go right down through. And then you bounce it heavily and come back to reality. The little aircraft. The little aircraft trudging through night, cloud, rain, is neither alone nor lost amid the great inverted ocean of the air, for a lane invisible gives it intelligence, the crossing needles keep its heading right, the neutrally numbering voices of its friends make of its blindness blind obedience, from one to another handing its destiny on the stages of the way with course and height, till finally it's funneled in and down over the beacons along the narrowing beam, perfectly trusting a wisdom not its own, that breaking out of cloud it may become back to this world and to be born again into the valley of the flare path, fallen home.